Hi, boys and girls. Mrs. Kappel here. How are you today? I am here with our May calendar. Just a quick look because I want to get to our great story today. It is a pencil day today. And remember, when you are making your next number that is one more than 10, that your 11 should look just like my traced pen. So be careful with your pattern today, boys and girls. Be sure that you have a grown up check your numbers to make sure they are looking just like mine. And take a look at my ABCC pattern and do some nice, sweet, careful work for me. Be sure that you are also counting to 100, counting by tens. You can be doing lots of different counting with your 100 chart. Okay, so let's get to our story. Today's book is called Stellaluna, and it's written by Janelle Cannon. Stellaluna is a bat. So Janelle Cannon is the author and the illustrator of this book. And she dedicates this book to Barton and Nancy with love. In a warm and sultry forest far, far away, there once lived a mother fruit bat and her new baby. Oh, how Mother Bat loved her soft, tiny baby. "I'll name you Stellaluna," she crooned. Each night Mother Bat would carry Stellaluna clutched to her breast as she flew out to search for food. Can you see her? Clutched means she's holding her tightly. I'm going to turn the page like this so you can get a better look at the illustrations. One night, as as Mother Bat followed the heavy scent of ripe fruit, an owl spied her. On silent wings, the powerful bird swooped down upon the bats. Dodging and shrieking, Mother Bat tried to escape, but the owl struck again and again, knocking Stellaluna into the air. Her baby wings were as limp and useless as wet paper. Down, down she went, faster and faster into the forest below. So there's the owl, and she was swooping down. What do you think the owl was trying to do? Trying to eat them. That's right. The dark, leafy tangle of branches caught Stellaluna as she fell. One twig was small enough for Stellaluna's tiny feet. Wrapping her wings about her, she clutched the thin branch, trembling with cold and fear. "Mother," Stellaluna squeaked, "where are you?" By daybreak, the baby bat could hold on no longer. Down, down again she dropped. Here she is hanging on. Flump! Stellaluna landed head first in a soft, downy nest, startling the three baby birds who lived there. Stellaluna quickly clambered from the nest and hung out of sight below it. She listened to the babble of the three birds. "What was that?" cried Flop. "I don't know, but it's hanging by its feet," chirped Flitter. "Here comes Mama," hissed Pip. So there she, that's what Stellaluna is. She landed, and then she went underneath. Many, many times that day, Mama Bird flew away, always returning with food for her babies. Stellaluna was terribly hungry, but not for the crawly things Mama Bird brought. Finally, though, the little bat could bear it no longer. She climbed into the nest, closed her eyes, and opened her mouth. Plop! In dropped a big green grasshopper. Oh my goodness. Now remember what kind of bat Stellaluna was. She was a fruit bat, which means during the night they would eat fruit from the trees. Stellaluna learned to be like the birds. She stayed awake all day and slept at night. She ate bugs, even though they tasted awful. Her bat ways were quickly disappearing, except for one thing. Stellaluna still liked to sleep hanging by her feet. Once, when Mama was away, the curious baby birds decided to try it too. When Mama Bird came home, she saw 8 tiny feet gripping the edge of the nest. Eek! She cried. Get back up here this instant. You're going to fall and break your necks. They were trying to be like Stellaluna. The birds clambered back into the nest, but Mama Bird stopped Stellaluna. You are teaching my children to do bad things. I will not let you back into this nest unless you promise to obey all the rules of this house. Stellaluna promised. She ate bugs without making faces. She slept in the nest at night, and she didn't hang by her feet. Stellaluna behaved as a good bird should. But was she a bird? No. All the babies grew quickly, and soon the nest became crowded. Mama Bird told them it was time to learn to fly. One by one, Pip, Flitter, Flap, and Stellaluna jumped from the nest. Their wings worked. I'm just like them, thought Stellaluna. I can fly too. Pip, Flitter, and Flap landed gracefully on a branch. Stellaluna tried to do the same. See, she's trying to grab with her wings. How embarrassing. Let's see what happened. Oh boy. So you see how the little birds just landed floop, right there by their feet. And now here, she's landed, she's climbing, she's hanging onto it. She's not a bird. That's not how bats do it. I will fly all day, Stellaluna told herself. Then no one will see how clumsy I am. So she wouldn't have to show them that she couldn't land the way they do. The next day, Pip, Flitter, Flap, and Stellaluna went flying far from home. They flew for hours, exercising their new wings. The sun is setting, warned Flitter. We'd better go home or we'll get lost in the dark, said Flap. But Stellaluna had flown far ahead and was nowhere to be seen. The 3 anxious birds went home without her. All alone, Stellaluna flew and flew until her wings ached and she dropped into a tree. I promised not to hang by my feet, Stellaluna sighed. So she hung by her thumbs and soon fell asleep. She didn't hear the soft sound of wings coming near. Look at her hanging by her thumbs. Hey, a loud voice said. Why are you hanging upside down? Stellaluna opened her eyes wide. So see how she's hanging, right? And he said, why is you hanging upside down? She saw a most peculiar face. I'm not upside down. You are, said Stellaluna. Ah, but you're a bat. Bats hang by their feet. You're hanging by your thumbs, so that makes you upside down, the creature said. I'm a bat. I'm hanging by my feet. That makes me right side up. Stellaluna was confused. Mama Bird told me I was upside down. She said I was wrong. Wrong for a bird, maybe, but not for a bat. More bats gathered around to see this strange young bat who behaved like a bird. Stellaluna told them her story. You ate bugs? Stuttered one. You slept at night? Gasped another. How very strange, they all murmured. Wait, wait! Let me look at this child. A bat pushed through the crowd. An owl attacked you? She asked, sniffing Stellaluna's fur. She whispered, You are Stellaluna. You are my baby. You escaped the owl? Cried Stellaluna. You survived? Yes, said Mother Bat as she wrapped her wings around Stellaluna. Come with me, and I'll show you where to find the most delicious fruit. You'll never have to eat another bug as long as you live. Aw. But it's nighttime, Stellaluna squeaked. We can't fly in the dark or we'll crash into trees. We're bats, said Mother Bat. We can see in the darkness. Come with us. Stellaluna was afraid, but she let go of the tree and dropped into the deep blue sky. Stellaluna could see. She felt as though rays of light shone from her eyes. She was able to see everything in her path. Soon the bats found a mango tree, and Stellaluna ate as much of the fruit as she could hold. I'll never eat another bug as long as I live, cheered Stellaluna as she stuffed herself full. I must tell Pip, Flitter, and Flap. See that sweet mango she's munching on? The next day, Stellaluna went to visit the birds. Come with me and meet my bat family, said Stellaluna. Okay, let's go, agreed Pip. They hang by their feet and they fly at night and they eat the best food in the world, Stellaluna explained to the birds on the way. As the birds flew among the bats, Flap said, I feel upside down here. So the birds hung by their feet. Wait until dark, Stellaluna said excitedly. We will fly at night. When night came, Stellaluna flew away. Pip, Flitter, and Flap leapt from the tree to follow her. I can't see a thing, yelled Pip. Neither can I, howled Flitter. Ah! Shrieked Flap. We're going to crash, gasped Stellaluna. I must rescue them. Stellaluna swooped about, grabbing her friends in the air. She lifted them to a tree, and the birds grasped a branch. Stellaluna hung from the branch above. We're safe, said Stellaluna. Then she sighed. I wish you could see in the dark, too. We wish you could land on your feet, Flutter replied. Pip and Flap nodded. They perched in silence for a long time. That means they just kind of sat on the branch. How can we be so different and feel so much alike? Mused Flitter. Hmm. And how can we feel so different and be so alike? Wondered Pip. I think this is quite a mystery, Flap chirped. I agree, said Stellaluna, but we're friends, and that's a fact. So, my friends, that is the end of our story of Stellaluna. So, I want to give you some information about bats. Now, there are lots and lots of bats on the earth. And like Stellaluna, she's a fruit bat. But there are other kinds of bats too that do eat bugs at night, mostly mosquitoes and things. Now, I want to show you a picture here of your hand, a person's hand, and a bat's wing. So, as you can see here, bats have a small hand wing. That means all the different kinds of bats have this kind of bone structure in their wings. So it kind of looks a little like your fingers. And when Stellaluna was hanging by her thumbs, that's what it felt like for her. She was actually hanging by the small bones in her wings. Now, here she is hanging upside down, And next to her, as you can see, this little fox. That's because she has a long, pointy nose and snout, sort of like a fox. And they do have special vision to help them see at night. They also have something called echolocation, which is something similar to what whales and dolphins have, where they use sound coming from their mouths, and the sound bounces off other objects. So if it was a bat, the sound that he makes or that he listens to is the reverberation or the sound hitting off of the insects. So that helps them locate the insects. So echo, 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 echo. When it hits objects, the sound bounces back to her ears, and that's how she can find bugs to eat, mosquitoes. I have a bat house on my barn because I don't like mosquitoes. So I put bats on my house, on my barn, so that during the night they eat and eat and eat lots of mosquitoes. And Stellaluna, of course, is a fruit bat, and she eats lots of fruits and she eats the seeds and everything. And that is really good for helping new plants and new trees and things grow. So that's kind of do a little bit of work like bees do when bees go around to different flowers and pollinate them. So bats are a good thing to have around your home, and so are honeybees. They are really helpful for trees and things and flowers if you like those things on your property, like I do. Well, that's all for now, boys and girls. I hope you enjoyed my story, Stellaluna. I'll send some activities to go along with that if you like. I know that if you look online, there are lots of Stellaluna activities and games that you can play also. All right. Bye bye for now, friends.